Hello. In this video we are going to talk about really important concept. This is the concept of prayer and magic. What's the difference between the two and how to apply both in your practice. I will also give example of how to pray correctly to the divinities you work with. What are the benefits and why you should do that in the first place. I will also try to debunk left-hand path versus right-hand path dichotomy, which is really present and prevalent within modern occult circles. There is nothing bad in praying to your divinities of choice. There is also nothing bad in doing magic. There is also nothing bad in combining the two. There is also nothing bad in separating the two. For first few minutes of this video, I will try to debunk in as shortly as possible right-hand path versus left-hand path dichotomy. And I will try to explain what the prayer is. In the modern Western world, in so-called esoteric revival of the West, aka modern occult community, we are taught that if one works with darker spirits, one shouldn't bow to any spiritual entity. And if you pray to spiritual entity, you are somehow inferior. That cannot be further from the truth, because this not only shows that one doesn't understand the place spirituality has, but whoever claims this, doesn't understand what is the prayer. So, this entire fallacy that you cannot pray to your divinities if you are on the left-hand path, whatever the left-hand path is, because that's completely different question. What is the left-hand path? But for now, let's first examine what is the main misconception here. The main misconception here is that Christian way to pray is the right way to pray. And the truth is, the Christian way to pray is the worst way to pray. Way how majority of Christians prays is a dumb way to pray, and it is an effective way to pray. Because in modern Christianity, in a way we are brought up, we are taught that prayer is a form of a trade. I pray to God to do this or to do that, or I pray to angel this to do that, and we then project this trading concept of prayer, this concept of prayer as a trade. A majority of people who go into similar or different belief system from Christianity, they from Christianity carry into their new belief system this really crazy and retarded opinion about prayer. What is the prayer? The prayer is the submission to the divinity of choice, which then allows the divinity of choice to flow in his spiritual power through the individual, which then elevates the individual to the higher state of being, making him capable of observing the higher realities and making him capable of manifesting his own individual will better. So let me give you an example. If I wanted to pray to Moloch, I will not ask Moloch for anything, because that is a prayer. As soon as you ask for something, that is a trade. We are not here to trade. We are here in prayer to submit so that energy of the deity can flow through us, elevate us, and we can become capable of perceiving higher realities, which are otherwise unavailable to us. Let me give you an example. I pray to Molech in a following manner. I simply say, I bow to you, Molech. Empower me as you see fit. I bow to you, Molech. Empower me as you see fit. And I repeat this chant over and over again. And I let the spirit of the deity flow through me until I reach the ecstatic state of consciousness. And for me, that's the prayer. There is no trade here. There is no request here. There is no offering here. There is no I give to you this, you give to me that. We are not here to trade in the temple. We are here to submit ourselves and to be elevated through submission. After we are elevated, then we receive understanding of the higher spiritual planes and become capable of manifesting what we desire without help of any god or divinity. How this is achieved? This is achieved through daily practice of invocation, of prayer, and of astral senses development. Once that observation of the spiritual realm is achieved, magic becomes much simpler. Once we observe the way and the world from that higher perspective, our ability to manifest what we want becomes much more prevalent, much more powerful, much more measurable and predictable, because we are elevated. We are seeing the world from the elevated state of mind, which is beyond time. Now, let's also define what is the difference between prayer and magical ritual. Prayer and magic are more or less based on the same technology, and it is questionable, are those two things separate in essence? But for the purpose of practicality, I will here propose what is the difference between prayer and magic. Prayer seeks communion with the divine, in this case Molech, without asking anything. You simply ask the divine to flow through you. you achieve union and the elevated state of being. However, in a magical ritual, you conjure certain spiritual power, Molech or some other being, angel, demon, elemental, it doesn't matter, through clearly defined procedure, in order to obtain what you want. That way, we can see that magic has forceful component, kinda. Because if you want to guarantee that what you desire will be manifested, you need to conjure something which you can control. What people call magical conjuration today is simply a bad form of prayer. Because if I call the divinity, let's say Molech, and I do not understand how I can let his energy flow through me, yet I give him a request, what happens many times is Molech or any other spirits fulfill requests only partially. First, because we are not capable of understanding how we can wield their energy to manifest with them what we want. And second, because we do not know exact procedures, how to call spirits and make them do what we want to do. And that's why majority of modern magic is half-based. It works only partially, because we mixed prayer and magic. It is the truth that prayer and magic work on the same technology, on the same astral and spiritual states and physical states of consciousness. But it is also true that there is practical difference between prayer and magic, and many people present bad prayer as magic and magic as prayer. This confusion creates a lot of unclarified things. And I think clarifying those terms is really good for us if we want to have a civilized discussion on the issue. For the end of this video, if you want to pray to Molech, I will give you a short curriculum to follow. This is a really powerful form of merging with him. First, raise the sacred space by visualizing the black sun above your head and the rays of the black sun penetrating the edges of your sacred space until the energy starts rising from the edges of the space and creates a protective barrier. If you visualize this long enough, you will start feeling the protective energy. While holding this visualization in your head, vibrate the word Molech, Molech over and over again. Once the space is erased, then what you should do is you should do 5 minutes of astral senses development exercise. And then, after you finished astral senses development exercise of any kind, you have a bunch of them on this channel, so I will not repeat myself here. But after the exercise is finished, then use this magical chant to presence the energy of Molech. Ha Moloch Hashedim. Over and over again recite the chant Ha Moloch Hashedim, Ha Moloch Hashedim, Ha Moloch Hashedim. And once you feel the shift in the room, which will show that Molech is there, then simply start repeating the phrase I bow to you, Molech. Empower me as you see fit. I bow to you, Molech. Empower me as you see fit. I bow to you, Molech. Empower me as you see fit. And repeat this phrase over and over again after you presence the energy of Molech. If you do it for long enough, you will with him achieve a form of mystical communion. You will be elevated, and you will understand what I am talking about. And remember, true prayer is when you submit a necessary aspect of the self in order to let the divinity to flow through you and elevate you. It is not trade. Do not trade in a temple. Learn to follow and understand yourself with the help of the divine. And then, after that is done, you will achieve the state of spiritual understanding, which will allow you to perform what we know as magic really easily. Thanks for watching, and hear you next time. Peace out.